Hello, everybody. Welcome to this live stream. Thank you so much for coming. If you're watching this on the catch up, hello. And if you're watching this live, thank you so much for tuning in live. I really, really appreciate it. So good to see so many of you already in the chat. We're going to do a sort of general cruise Q&A today. So if you have any cruise related questions to do with ships, itineraries, cruises I've done, cruises I'm doing, please drop them in the chat. If you can put question in capital letters at the beginning, it just helps me to pick out what is a question, and I'll do my best to answer as many as I can. So I hope you are all well. Happy New Year 2024. Blimey, 2024. Right, let's have a look for our first question. Did they let you film the video down the giant slide? So yes, when I did the MSC cruise, MSC World Europa, I went down with my phone in my hand, no problem. Nobody said anything, not an issue. On Royal Caribbean, they wouldn't let me take my camera down, even though the website did say you could take a camera if it was on a wrist strap. That's what I had, a wrist strap, but they would not let me do that. So MSC, yes. Royal Caribbean, no on that one. Thank you so much to the moderators, by the way, who look after these chats. I really, really appreciate it. Next question. Well, when will Emma reach 300,000 subscribers? Place your bets. I mentioned this in my last YouTube video. If you haven't already seen, it is a review of the MSC cabin I had that looked inside the ship. And I've gained over 1,000 subscribers from that video alone. I think it's had 150, maybe 1,000 views, which is pretty cool, and 1,000 new subscribers. I never normally get anywhere near that on a video, so people are helping me to get to that 300,000 goal, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, I think a couple of days and we'll be there. I think. Please don't unsubscribe just because I said that, please. Frank says, do you have any experience or stories about being stuck on a ship longer than the scheduled sailing? No, I've always had to disembark when I've been told it's disembarkation day. I've never been stuck on a cruise for longer. I wouldn't call it stuck, though. Sometimes due to weather, they can't get back to the original port or something. It's rare, but it's never happened to me, no. Is your Christmas tree still up? The Christmas tree that is in the thumbnail of this video isn't my Christmas tree. It is the Cruise Boys Christmas tree. They always have a very lovely Christmas tree. And I took a picture in front of it and I put it on this thumbnail. But I have taken down my Christmas stuff now. I think normally by the 6th I would take it down. And it's nearly the 6th. It is the 5th of January if you're watching this live. Thank you so much for all the comments. There's so many. My goodness. If you can just put question, it just really helps me to pick it out, because as I'm sure you can tell, the chat does go quite fast on these live streams, and I don't like to stop and read. So if you can keep them shorter. Do you think a March cruise on the Rhine would be super rainy? Your definition of super rainy might be different to mine. If you're from the UK, it's likely to be the same as the UK, the same chance that it's raining, I think. If you're from somewhere where it doesn't rain that much, it would probably feel rainy to you. Yeah, drizzly. But there's nothing that you would do on a Rhine River cruise that you could not do in the rain. I don't think. Cruise Boys, how many subscribers to get the next YouTube plaque? 1 million. There is no 250. There's no 500. It is 1 million. So we have a long way to go to 1 million. Have you done the Disney cruise? I have. I've taken one Disney cruise. If you want to check that out, the video is on my channel. The review is on my website too. I normally put a kind of story video on my YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're probably used to my videos. But also on my website, I do things like cabin guides. I do food reviews. There's a lot more detail on the website side. Because just because someone clicks on a video about Disney cruising doesn't mean they want to know how much the laundry is. So I put that stuff on my website. Will you take an AIDA cruise? It says Greg. I have no plans to, but thankfully, three of my friends really, in the chat, the Cruise Boys, they did this cruise. This is a German cruise line. They speak German and they speak English, and I'm going to wait and see how their cruise went. It's not one that's easy to book. It sounds like it's really hard to book. So yeah, I don't know. I spend a lot of my time working with travel agents in the UK and the US, and we're selling people the cruises that I take. And it seems weird to do a cruise where we cannot book it. And I don't know. It's just not top of my to-do list. There's other cruise lines I would much prefer to do sooner. If I recall, Emma also had to disembark on embarkation day once. Yes, I did. This sounds like I've been naughty. That was not my fault. That was a cruise that was cancelled while I was at dinner and we had to disembark. We could have stayed on board until the next day, to be fair, but it was in London. It was London Tilbury, and the idea of driving through London, rush hour Monday, it would have been, we thought we'll just come home. So we came home. What is the oldest cruise ship you've been on? This is the Celestial Olympia, built in 1986, I think. She was originally a Royal Caribbean cruise ship. She felt very Royal Caribbean, and she was with Celestial, which are a Greek cruise line. Very interesting. They're getting rid of her now, I've heard, which is quite sad. Are MSC too loud / party like? I've seen mixed messages and reviews. It's hard to say if something is too loud or too party like, because it might be too loud for you, but it might be too quiet for somebody else. It's definitely a family cruise line. Definitely people are relaxed. People are having a good time. You know, I really liked on my last MSC cruise looking down into the street. Everyone's just dancing. Everyone's just having a good time. I find that really fun. But it is, I would say, probably more lively than some other cruise lines, but equally there's other cruise lines that are more lively than it. So it's really hard to say. If you watch the reviews of the MSC cruises I've done quite a lot of MSC cruises, you'll either see it and you'll think, absolutely not, or you'll think, oh, that sounds a good fun. It's not for everybody. I didn't understand the Sooty reference. Yes, so Sooty and Sweep. It's a TV show that's apparently from the 1950s in the UK. I didn't know the whole world didn't have Sooty and Sweep. But that's what I meant when I said that. I said that in my last YouTube video. Eric says, did Captain Hudson have a good Christmas? I think so. It's quite funny because this third version of Captain Hudson with the tuxedo, he was being sent out around the world. So some places he arrived before Christmas, other places he didn't arrive. And I've had so many messages from people who say like, oh, my Captain Hudson spent Christmas stuck inside like the foyer of the apartment building, or he was in the mailbox outside in the cold, which is quite funny. Jane says, registered with your TA after Christmas, but haven't had a quote. Are they catching up after the holidays? No, you absolutely should have a quote within around 24 hours. If you're not seeing that, it's probably your spam email or something is going wrong there. So if you email the email that is in the email, you'll have an email that says we've got your quote. If you email the email that's in that, we'll resend it. We might have to send it to a different email, might have to phone you instead, but we have a pretty good 24-hour turnaround on all the quotes I have on my list. Have you been on P&O's Ventura, and how does it compare to Iona? I think if you go on Google and you Google P&O Ventura versus P&O Iona, I think I wrote that blog post, perhaps. It's very different. P&O Ventura is a lot smaller. It's a lot more traditional. They have more formal nights. It's a much more traditional cruise. Iona is P&O's move towards the family market, so it's a lot more freestyle. You'll find a lot more kids on Iona. You won't find many kids on Ventura, based on my Ventura cruise anyway. Sophie says, would you ever do a trans-Pacific cruise? It's not one that is on my to-do list because I get seasick and it's a lot of sea days. I've been doing some research recently about world cruises, and I love the idea of cruising around the world, don't get me wrong, but what I would do is I would fly, I would cruise for 2 weeks, I would stay somewhere, I would cruise again, and I would fly over these bits. Like, I'd happily cruise across the Atlantic, I think, because normally that's 6 sea days, but some of the trans-Pacific cruises have loads of sea days. I was looking at a world cruise with Ambassador, who are a budget British cruise line, wondering why is this is half the price of a Royal Caribbean world cruise, and it's because it has so many sea days. Out of a 120-day cruise, 72 are at sea. Like that, I like a good sea day, 1 or 2 sea days, you know, it's great fun, but 72 days at sea, ugh. That's a lot of time, When you get seasick, if you don't get seasick, oh, go ahead. Thank you so much for all the comments. I always think I get to the bottom and then it goes, it loads this whole new amount. David says, have you been invited to tour or spend any time on a Mercy ship? Yes. So what Mercy ships do is they move to a place that needs, that is not the comment I wanted. This is the comment I wanted. They move to a place and they do, surgeries. They train people. They're hospital ships and they stay there, I think, for like 6 months, a long time. And then they come back and, they've refurbished the ships and everything. If I'm going to get the chance to go on, they have invited me, but I've been on other cruises. It's probably going to be when it's in Europe. It's a lot easier for me to go and see a ship for a day when it's in Europe versus I think they're in Sierra Leone, and I don't really go to Sierra Leone for one day. It seems like quite a lot. Izzy Wizzy, let's get busy. Yeah, plenty of people know Sooty and Sweep. I think it's fun. um, yeah, I think I'm used to these live streams now that I answer the questions before I get them. But we have done so many of these live streams. So the question I have not answered is the discount for the day, and it is Hudson Made Me. We're going back to the most popular t-shirt designs, because obviously we did Christmas before Christmas, and this is the Captain Hudson Made Me Do It t-shirts, and this is one of the best selling ones. So you have a discount code here. It's for 24 hours only. I do these every single live stream, and that is on not just the t-shirts, also the hoodies, the sweatshirts, they're called tank tops. We would call them vest tops in the UK. Connor says, how much did your Singapore to Tokyo cruise cost? It was not that much, actually. It was a 12-night cruise. I had a balcony cabin. It was around £1,600 per person. I can't convert that in my head, but if you go to my video about that cruise, I have how much I paid for that in dollars, how much I paid for my soda package, how much I paid for my excursions, how much I paid for my Wi-Fi. It was one of the most expensive cruises I've ever taken, not because of the cruise, but because of the flights, because it's quite a long way to Singapore and back from Tokyo to London. But best cruise I've ever taken, no question. If you're in doubt, take a cruise in Asia. Fantastic. What is the longest cruise you've been on? 2 weeks. 2 weeks is the longest cruise I've been on. Just booked an MSC Preziosa January 2025, 7 nights, £345. That is very, very good. And if you booked it from the UK, that includes gratuities. So I don't know how anyone can argue with that. I took a cruise on Preziosa. I did a 7-night cruise. It was similar price because it was in October and we did the sort of Northern Europe, but I was with some friends. Yeah, it was good fun. Good fun. Enjoy it. Definitely enjoy it. Which cruise line did you consider the cleanest? Every cruise I've ever been on has been very clean. I don't have a cleanest. I don't have a dirtiest, I don't think. I've never really noticed because it is so clean. But I have noticed how much dirtier hotels are than cruise ships. I don't know if you stayed in an on-land hotel recently. I haven't done anything other than a cruise for at least 5-6 years, maybe, because this is my business now. But I stayed in a couple of just motorway hotels recently, and it was fine, but it's the same price as a cruise per night, and you just get like mold in the bath and stuff. Like, I don't know. Cruises are just so much cleaner. They're held to a way higher standard. Richard says, over 600 people watching. Come on, those who haven't clicked the like button, you know what you have to do. Yes, 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 yes. Is Norwegian a good choice for first-time young cruisers, group of friends? Yes, I think if I was to take my friends who've never cruised on a cruise and I want to impress them with a good ship, I would do maybe Norwegian Breakaway, Norwegian Getaway. That kind of class is my favorite, or Norwegian Prima, Encore, that kind of thing. The older ones are good. I really enjoy them, but I don't think it would give my friends that sort of wow factor in the same way as the newer Norwegian ships. Same with, if it was a newer Royal Caribbean ship. Oh, Hudson's come in. Hudson's come to say hi. And we know what we have to give Hudson, don't we? We got some dreamies. We got some dreamies. But yes, I think so. I think that's a good choice. Oh, Hudson, you're so cold. It's cold outside. There we go. Why don't you just... Ah, it bit me. You didn't mean to. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Jackie, for sharing the link to my shop. Much appreciated. I've just added a Valentine's collection on there. I think they're cool. But I'm biased because I love everything Captain Hudson. Okay, next question. Wow, it seems like yesterday you were approaching 100,000 subscribers, now almost 300,000. Thank you very much. I know. It's impossible. I can't think about it at all. I can imagine 30, 40 people in a room. That's about it. I guess I can imagine at a concert, maybe like a few thousand people seeing them, but you can't visualize that many people. It is crazy. Every time I go on a cruise and I meet someone, they go into my brain and it's kind of my audience, if that makes sense. So it's a representation. So every video is like, oh, I remember Molly, who I met in the buffet on Carnival, or I remember, Mark, who I met on Morella, and then all together, that's who I see in my head. Hudson is real. Of course Hudson is real. Absolutely. Eddie says, I keep all my cruise cards and now have more than 45. Do you still have yours? And how many would you have now? So I have taken technically 62 cruises if we count every sort of new ship launch, big ferry, river cruise, conferences, everything like that. 62. I probably have 50 of them because, when I was a teenager, I didn't cross my mind to keep the cruise cards. I have some from not my first cruise, but my second cruise when I was 13. But some of them, you don't really get a cruise card on all of them. On my last cruise with TUI, the river cruise, it's just a blank white card. So it's a bit different. I have like a thing you put credit cards in and you go through like a book where my cruise cards are, but I do have the Virgin Voyages wristband in there. I have the Princess Medallion in there, and they are chunky. They don't really fit in there, so it's kind of annoying. Questions about squash again. Is squash popular in the UK or just with you? I always add water to my juice, so I think I would like it, says Lauren. There is a full aisle in every single supermarket of squash. Even if you go to like a corner shop, they're going to have at least like 5 different flavors of squash, I would think. It's very, very popular. There's more squash than there would be wine in the supermarket, I think. Yeah, I think so. Yes, thoughts on the world cruise. I'm going to bring you a video on that, so I'm going to not talk about that one right now. So I wanted in this video to sort of talk about the next year, 2024, which is crazy because I have some really interesting plans. Obviously, I can't give away specifics on cruise dates, where I'm going, but I can let you know, which cruises I have booked. So I am heading back to Alaska. Very exciting. My first cruise was in Alaska when I was 11 years old, and I am taking the same cruise, the same itinerary, same cruise line, same itinerary as my first cruise. So I'm going to try and recreate, some of the pictures and things. Just comments about wine and squash in there. So I'm very, very excited to go back to Alaska. I am going to Norway a couple of times. I'm taking my family on a Norwegian fjord cruise, and I'm doing Havila, which are the new sort of ferry, the new Hurtigruten, which is very, very exciting. I also do have a river cruise booked, and it is not the normal TUI budget river cruise that I do. It is UniWorld. And I walked through a UniWorld ship, and I looked at the chandelier, and I'm very, very excited about it. And so that's very cool. And that is my plan. That is my plan. Oh, my mom says, I thought you had that in your Alaska Hawaii cruise ship scrap book that you made when you were 11. Maybe she's lost that. I think it's in my loft. Everything is packaged up in my loft because it's not currently watertight and everything's going moldy. So I think I still have it, but I don't have access to it. But I will do my best to find it. Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year. Have you been in the Skylift in Oldham? I thought it was incredible. Yes, and I didn't like it at all. I think I didn't get it at all. It was really, really cramped in there. They put so many people in the Skylift. I couldn't see a thing, so I stood in the middle. And then I got to the top and it was so foggy and I couldn't see anything. And yeah, no, I just thought it was really overrated of all the things I've done in Norway and all the Skylifts I've been on. It's really expensive. I don't know. I have to do it again on a sunny day. Maybe it's better on a sunny day, but I just remember being stood. It was so many people in that Skylift. I couldn't see. I couldn't film anything. That was on P&O's Britannia. I did that, so it was years and years ago. But yeah, I don't understand the hype about it, but perhaps I just had a bad day there. I don't know. Going on Celebrity Edge for my honeymoon. Any top tips? Oh my goodness. I love Celebrity Edge. If you haven't already watched my Celebrity Edge video, please check that out because that will be about 20 minutes of tips. I wonder what type of cabin you have because I had the Infinite Veranda, which is a balcony that's not really a balcony. I think I would not book that one again if I had the choice. I would book a normal balcony, but Celebrity is a very easy cruise. You don't have to book the shows from memory. You can sort of just chill out. You can go swimming. You can eat. The shows are good, like very consistently good. There's nothing like that comes to mind that you need to do particularly. Just watch my video and you will see. Are you going to go on Norwegian Viva? I went and it's very similar to the Prima. I don't have any plans to at the moment. I am going to be cruising with Norwegian again next year. But yeah, Viva is very, very similar to Prima. So I'd prefer to do something different. But I would also like to go on Viva. Definitely. There's lots and lots cruises I like to do. Some interesting questions in here. Thank you so much, moderators. Does Europa have infinite balconies? Kind of. It has the same sort of thing, but it doesn't call them balconies. It doesn't sell them as balconies. It sells them as like a ocean view deluxe or something. I can't remember exactly, and I think that's a better way to do it because it's not a balcony if you don't really have outside space. It's more like on a river cruise, but even less because on a river cruise, at least you can open your own window, whereas the one we had on Celebrity was locked quite a lot of times. But yes, thank you so much to my mum for sharing this link. My mum was on this cruise with me. We had a really good cruise. And I think mum liked it quite a lot. So yes. Would you ever go on a inaugural cruise or wait until the bugs are fixed? Or is it not budgety enough? That's a good question. If I didn't have this YouTube channel, there's no way I would consider an inaugural cruise. No way, because they're cancelled so often. Why take that risk? And yeah, everyone needs to get used to the ship. I would much prefer to go on a ship when, the crew are all settled in rather than at the beginning. There's just no reason. For me now, it's quite interesting, but even still, I would prefer to wait. Because the thing is inaugural cruises, everyone's running around trying to film everything. Everyone's trying to be the first. Things are not finished. So I would prefer to just wait 6 months and then just do it myself. Personally. I'm sure it's good fun though. Yeah, cruise boys have given up on inaugural cruises. Yeah, you only sort of need one cancelled or postponed a lot. Like, I know you had Queen Anne. And then, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it's good fun, but just not for me. I've never been on a ship during New Year's. No, I've done some Christmas cruises, but I've never done New Year's. Do people participate and dress up for Cunard's theme nights, 1920s red and gold? I have never participated on a Cunard cruise. I don't think I did the research. I didn't know what the theme nights were. But some people do. Yeah, I'd say maybe less than a third do, probably, based on most cruises. I do have here, I have many things to give away. I'm not going to do it on the live stream because it's hard I can't send you a message, so it's kind of tricky. But if you go to emmacruises.com, there's so many places where you can put in your email. If you put in your email there, I'll email you. I'm going to do an email, my weekly email later, and these things are all to be given away. So I have got 2 Christmas t-shirts here. Never worn these ones. They are the same as mine because I got sent double. I don't know why, but we have 2 Christmas t-shirts here I'm going to give away. I have a Celestial bag here, which is quite nice. Didn't know I had that, but I found that. And we have some Holland America stuff here. Yes. So I'm going to give away all that stuff in my email newsletter. Please just give me your email so that I can do that. I only send 1 email a week and I don't do it every week. And it has my latest videos in it. It has any latest blog posts I've done, things I need to tell you when the live streams are, that kind of stuff. emmacruises.com, type it in. Thank you to my mum sharing links to my website. Only the moderators have the power to share links here. And my mum is one of my moderators. So thanks very much, mum. Some cruise lines participate a lot more than others, of course. White Knight is quite popular, Royal Caribbean Cruises, MSC Cruises do it, Celebrity Cruises do it. Depends how easy it is, really, because sometimes you're on an MSC cruise and you don't know ahead of time what the theme nights are, and then it'll be like 70s or cowboy, and I'm like, I don't have that stuff here. If I knew, then I would have bought it. Oh, will the giveaways have an Emma and or Hudson autograph? We can do that. Yes, I hadn't thought about that. But I do have some postcards that I send out that they say thank you on them. And it's a picture of me and I'll sign that. And Hudson autograph is kind of tricky, but I do have a Hudson stamp that we can do. So maybe I will do that. I think that's good. Patrick says, tell us about your bracelet. My niece made this for me and it says Emma Cruises on it. If you can see it. It's very cool. Very cool. Bringing my Captain Hudson on his first cruise in May. Very exciting. It's been really, really cool to see where Hudson has been going. So if you go to captainhudsonmap.com, we have a big map where you can upload the pictures. What I'm doing at the moment is I'm creating something as a prize so that the most liked one uploaded every month, I'll send something that you cannot buy. It's going to be like a Hudson trophy. If anyone remembers watching Jungle Run, they used to collect these monkey statues from the temple. And that's what I'm thinking about. It's going to be like a Hudson statue. So, yes, that'll be fun. Do you ever call Captain Hudson a floof? I don't think so. I call him a fluffy bum. I call him lots of things. Hudson, yeah. Huddy Buddy, call him that a lot. A little Huddy Buddy. Haven't been able to upload photos to the map. You should be able to today. We did have the settings down quite low for how small the photo could be, so a lot of photos weren't uploading, but you should be able to upload it now. You should see hopefully 2 tabs. One says uploaded this month. There won't be anything in there yet. I need to approve them because I can't just have a website where random pictures appear on the internet. And the other one will be the winners. But yeah, should be all good now. Yeah, all up and running, all good. Oh, hello, sweet nature. It is nice to see you. Thanks so much for joining my live. Katie says, as someone who's never been on a cruise, what is the biggest plus to doing it over a normal holiday? It is so much easier, so much easier because you get on the ship, you unpack your stuff into the wardrobe, into the drawers, and then you don't have to do anything, but you'll wake up and then every day there's a different place and a different view and you don't have to do anything. And all your food's included on there, your entertainment's included. It's very, very... it's like being looked after, which is really nice. If I do a land resort now and I wake up and it's the same view after like 3 days, I think I'd find that quite boring. If it was the same restaurant, I've done in the past, half-board hotels and stuff, and yeah, not for me anymore. Love cruising too much. Can you tell me about cruises that you can only book from Europe? I'm in Canada. There's not really any cruises that you can only book in Europe, other than the cruise line Marella, who don't allow anyone from outside the UK to book. I can't think of any others. Some are quite difficult. If you want to book AIDA, the German cruise line, it's hard. But there's not really any that you can't book. You can only book from Europe that I know of anyway. Yes, Jamie says, I once cruised out of my nearest port 20 minutes and it was so strange already being on holiday without needing to travel to get there. Yes, every time I go on a plane or I travel through an airport, especially my journey recently coming back from Frankfurt, I'm like, could you just cruise home instead? It'd be so much better. Yes. P&O is one we can't really book from Canada. If you go on my website, emmacruises.com, press the book button, we have a way that we can get you booked. It's not easy, but we can do it for you. So yes, just click that book button, send us a message. Mike says, I have to leave soon. Can I get a preview of today's Britishism? We don't normally do Britishisms on the live streams. Well, probably I do loads, but I don't know what I'm doing. This is kind of the place where I find out what things are Britishisms because I say them. Like the other day I said OAPs, old age pensioners, and that was then my Britishism for the video. So that's normally how it works. I have never been to Istanbul, no. I go to Alaska because no flying. Yeah, for me to go to Alaska, the flight's maybe 10 hours. The time difference is quite a lot. So yeah, the equivalent for me would be going to Norway, of course. Yeah, I don't think cruising is my choice over land resorts. Definitely. I saw a nice comment, but it has just jumped. Oh, here's a nice comment. Your Valentine's merch is adorable. Thank you so much. I will next week do a discount on the Valentine's one, the one with Hudson on it, but I only ordered it yesterday and it normally takes 3 or 4 days to come. So it's not here yet. But this one is Captain Hudson made me do it. This is the discount of the day. Hudson made me do it, keeping it simple. And this is one of the best selling ones that we've had on the website in the last year. I got a little summary and I thought that would be a good one to do the discount on today. So that is the one. If you had to cruise in Australia, which one would you choose? So I think if I was going all the way to Australia, I wouldn't want to cruise with a normal British American cruise line, one that I could do anywhere else. I would want to do the Australian P&O, the Australian Carnival. There's other ones, but I would want to do something I couldn't do here. Peter says, can you self-explore easily from the main British Isles ports? Are they a long way from the main cities? Some of them are quite far away, yes. I took a British Isles cruise in the summer, and a lot of places we would have to tender, and then we would have to get a train. I can't remember where. In Edinburgh, we had to tender and then get a train. Some places we could just wander off, but most places we did some sort of bus, public transport, train. It's very easy to do that by yourself. You don't need the cruise lines transfers, but you normally do need a bit of planning. If you check out that video, it's called I Visited 37 of Britain's Best Sites, something like that. I can't remember how many there were. I need to get a Captain Hudson made me do it for my son. Oh, that's really sweet. It's great. The good thing I like about this is it's kind of subtle enough. If you don't know who Captain Hudson is and you see someone with this t-shirt, it's just fine, doesn't matter. But if you see someone with this t-shirt and you also know who Captain Hudson is, then it's cool. It's just a nice way to sort of make friends. I think that's good. I think it's just something nice in common. Captain Hudson brings us all together, I think. Um, yes, interesting comments in the chat. Have you been on a birthday cruise? I don't think so. I don't remember. Or if I have, I've never got, a birthday cake or anything like that. I don't think, I don't know. Don't think so. Favorite place you've ever cruised? Japan. No question. The end. Japan. Followed by Norway. Definitely. Watched you for a year and you have inspired me to take my first cruise. Thank you very much. It'll only take one cruise and then you'll be a cruiser. It's amazing when you look at the statistics of how many people return to cruising. It is so high. It's like 75% of people cruise again after they've cruised once. And it's different by different ages. They say millennials, I'm a millennial, and one of the top ones returning to cruising, which is quite interesting. Yeah, you can walk from Dover to the castle. Yeah, we didn't do Dover on that cruise. I have sailed out of Dover. Yes. Oh, Richard says, just purchased travel insurance from RD here in the States to cover our upcoming med cruise. Great people to deal with. Thanks for the recommendation. You are very welcome. So RD are the ones that I recommend in my travel insurance guide. If you look in the description of all my videos, my guide is there, and it's a comparison website. So that way you can compare what is included, how much it costs. Don't pick the cheapest one. Don't necessarily pick the most expensive one. You'll probably find one in the middle that suits. And yes, they're really nice people. That's how I know them. And that's just because they're nice and they're good. It's really good. Yeah, I would always recommend using a comparison site for sure. RD is great. Yeah, they're nice. They are good. Do Morella do a loyalty scheme? Done 3 Caribbean cruises and stays with them and never got a discount. I don't think so. Or if they do, it doesn't have discounts. Most cruise lines don't have discounts in their loyalty schemes. Might the top cruise YouTubers collaborate to charter a ship for a mega group cruise? That sounds exhausting. I would absolutely cry on day one. I would be so overwhelmed. Not for me, that kind of thing. Because the pressure of, I feel like I was letting everyone down. There's no way you could interact with everybody. Oh, I'd be crying somewhere in a corner. Can you walk from Southampton to the ship? Yeah, there's quite a lot of ports in Southampton. They're all varying places, but yeah, you can wander into Southampton from there, no problem at all. I normally walk, to the train station. Totally fine. Can you show Captain Hudson now, or a link to where we can see him? Captain Hudson as in the real Hudson, or Captain Hudson as in this Hudson? This is Captain Hudson. This is Captain Hudson. Might be on the other side for you, but for me, he's up here. That's Captain Hudson. And real Hudson, he was in this stream a little while ago, and he might come back. Maybe. I've been in the background of 2 of your videos. Do I get a credit? If you want one, absolutely yes. Yeah, managing a charter cruise is insane. Yeah, I can't even imagine. Thank you, Jackie, for sharing that link. Much appreciated. Paul and Carol, hello. Nice to see you. I was watching your live stream very recently. And Morella don't have a loyalty scheme. No. Callie says, do you have a non-cruise day job? No, I now fully work in the cruise industry. I left the insurance industry for cruising in 2021. And I don't really need to explain why, I don't think. I used to be in data development. I did coding all day, every day, and it was fine. But I spent every spare second of my life, before work, after work, lunch breaks, building up a business in cruising, because I just love cruising. So yeah, after about 4 years of doing that in my spare time, I was able to leave. When the cruise industry restarted, obviously we had a little shutdown for about 18 months in the middle. Emma says, recently bought and used the packing cubes from your website. They are really good quality. Thank you very much. These are the Mia 2 packing cubes that I have. I have a big set of them. My mum has some too. And for me, it just makes traveling so much easier, because literally I get into the room, Unpack 1, 2, 3, 4, done. That is it. I pack quite light anyway, but it just means if I need like a hairbrush, I don't have to root through everything. I just take out the dresses, socks, t-shirts, done. That is it. I would recommend them. Oh, the cruise line should reward you for your positive focus to bring to the industry. I do wonder if there's any way to to see, like, I get a lot of comments that say, "I booked this cruise because of you." Like, I don't know. There's no way for me to know. I can see how many people watch my videos, in an average month, a couple of million on YouTube, sometimes 5 million on Facebook. I get quite a lot of Facebook views, which is weird. And then more on TikTok, Instagram, and stuff. So, yeah, probably a lot of millions of people see my face, which is terrifying. But some of them book cruises, but I don't really know. Other than the ones I book with my travel agent, of course. Would you recommend RD over Cover for You travel insurance? So RD is a comparison website, and Cover for You is a travel insurance company in the UK. So they won't ever cross over. They're different. You could do a comparison website, and Cover for You would come up in the UK as one of the options. That's the one I have. They're very slow. I don't know that I'd recommend them necessarily. They're all right, but they're a bit slow. And RD is for the US and Canada, so it is different. Phil says, Mia Tui packing cubes are a game changer. That is good. Glad to hear it. Anything that makes things easier. All about that. MBE forever. Oh my goodness. Will was in here. Trek Trendy. Happy Friday, Emma. What's your favorite cruise of 2023? So me and Will took a similar cruise. I did Singapore to Tokyo, and that's my favorite cruise. Absolutely. Also, I did cruise into the Arctic Circle to see the Northern Lights in 2023. So that's up there. But Japan is just fantastic. It's just the best. So yeah, I think that's my favorite of 2023. Yes. Oh, Lisa says, Emma, you are such a modest person. You seem to never change, even with all your publicity. I think it's because I never wanted the publicity. And I'm not someone who in any way wants fame. So perhaps that's why, if I was seeking that and then I got it, maybe things would be different. But I started my website, I started my YouTube channel because I was annoying people by talking to them about cruises all the time. I would take a cruise on Norwegian Breakaway and I would tell my friends, oh my goodness, can you believe compared to the other sister ships, no one cares. So I wrote it down on the internet and I never thought everyone would see it. We have a lot of Mia Tui love in here. By the way, if you do want anything Mia Tui, Emma Cruises is a discount code. That is an affiliate discount code. I think I need to say that. And Claire says, Mia Tui bags are really good. I have a few for traveling. They're the only bags I've had maybe the last 7 years. And she loves her Isabel bag. New one arrived today. Yes, that's a nice one. I like my Isabel bag. Yes. Eddie says, last year I got a few payouts for missed ports on my insurance. Yes. Me too. Actually, I only got one this year. Yeah, I only got one. But still, I'll take it. I will take it. Do you have a cruise at the top of your bucket list? I would love to, from Australia. I'd absolutely love to come to Australia or New Zealand or anywhere that far away. It just seems like, it is almost as far away from me as I can get. But yeah, that's top of my bucket list. I don't think I'm going to do it this year, though. Yeah, just the time it takes. I'd want to spend more time there. We have 800 people watching this live stream. That's absolutely terrifying. Thanks so much. Bob says, your thoughts on celebrity charging more than double price for solo cruises? More than double price. I don't really know. I don't feel like celebrity charge more than double on all their cruises. We have found some really good solo deals. It may be a particular, I don't know. It's hard to comment on that because I'm not sure that is a thing. I understand, why cruise lines charge more for solos. I understand why it's really annoying, but you have to think about it. Most of the money, a cruise line is expecting you to go on and spend £500 extra on board. And so when you're not including a second person in the cabin, it's not just that they're not paying for a cruise fare, they're not paying for the casino, they're not paying for drinks. So they lose a lot of money on solos. So I understand. Jamie says, a TUI branded bag doesn't sound like something to rave about. Mia Tui is nothing to do with Tui. All this time I thought Mia Tui was affiliated with Tui and Morella. Nothing like that. They're a company in the UK. They're absolutely lovely. They're quite a small team, and I've known them for many years, and they're nothing to do with Tui or Morella. How many more Hudson plushies will there be? Says Steve. I don't know. We made all three of these in a year. A year ago, people were just ordering Hudson one, and I had no idea how many we would sell, how much we've raised for Mercy ships. No idea. So this year, I mean, it would be nice to do three again this year. It does take a while. I have submitted my design for version 4. So that will be hopefully designed soon, and then the sample will be with me soon, but I'm not sure. I'd love to raise more than we did this year for Mercy ships, but that's a big ask. That's a big ask. I can't remember the exact number, but it was something like £60,000, which is just insane. Absolutely crazy. Oh, Jamie says, was looking at New Year's cruises, Ambassador charging the same for 21 nights as Morella are charging for 7 nights. Yes, there's some really cheap Ambassador cruises out there. Really, really cheap, yes. But depends if that's what you want or not. When you don't travel with your family, how do you get so many great pictures and videos of yourself? I never cruise solo. There's always someone with me who I am annoying by saying, take a picture of me, take another one, film me looking at the sea, film me sitting down. There's always someone with me. I never cruise solo anymore. Yeah, it wouldn't be a good idea for me, just with so many people knowing me and so many people seeing me every single month. So yeah, I always have someone with me. Oh, I know we'll continue to get each Hudson. Oh, thank you very much. It is so sweet. It just, yeah, it's my favorite thing I've done for sure. It makes me so happy. Yeah, but do you want ambassadors formality and extra charges? For me, no thanks. I'm not sure what extra charges there are on ambassador, really. I mean, I guess gratuities, but I think they're £5 per person per day, so they're very cheap. But yeah, ambassador, it is what it is. I only managed to cruise on board for 8 hours, so I can't comment too much on that. My friend Robin's birthday today. Happy birthday to Robin. Happy birthday. What a cold, dark time of year to have a birthday. I hope you do something nice and go somewhere and make an effort, because you deserve it. Definitely. Why is your brother never in your videos? Because he doesn't want to be in the videos, and I don't want to put anyone who doesn't want to be on YouTube on YouTube. It is I get enough to deal with, and I chose this for myself. The idea of putting someone else on there, no way, no way. You have to have a thick skin. You have to be ready for, I can't. The thing is I can't say some of the things that happen to me on this channel because I will get demonetized for saying them. So, yeah. Where do you live, and have you considered moving somewhere else if you can? So I live in the south of England, a place called Sussex, if you know Sussex, and I have considered moving somewhere else, yes. There's no need for me to be here particularly, other than family are here. But one day, maybe, yeah. I don't feel like I need to be born and die in the south of England, particularly. Was it just me, or was there not a blooper reel for 2023? 2023. So I do blooper reels, outtake videos for my Patreons. And I think we're up to date with those as far as I remember. So yeah, check them out on Patreon and stuff. Do you ever worry about bumping into the people that are not nice that you see on the internet, says Lisa? Yeah, there's a lot of people who I know exist who very scary. But I don't cruise by myself. I don't give away my cruise plans in advance. I try and keep myself as safe as I can. It is scary, but it is the price I have to pay for, 99% of people are absolutely lovely. And hopefully if someone doesn't like me, or they're not, they just won't talk to me. That's my ideal. It is really, really weird to know, there's a lot of people that really don't like me because they don't know me at all. It's just weird. But they're out there, and I can see that's just weird. They know me and I don't know them. That's really creepy. But yeah, thankfully there's way, way, way thousands of times more nice people. So Cruise Boys say my birthday is next week. It is. Yeah, my mum's is in January too. Yeah. Did you see the recent post of Hudson with the cowboy hat getting ready for the country western music cruise? I didn't, Keith. This is one reason that I set up the Captain Hudson map website, because at the moment we have a Facebook group, which is great. But Facebook, everything just gets lost and it's gone as soon as it's gone. So by having the map, I can see everything that's uploaded in the month and I can show them on the live streams, and then they'll be there. They'll be kept there. That is the plan. I'm on Patreon, but I can't see the blooper reels. Have you seen any blooper reels? But you may not be on the right tier. It's a bit complicated. If you send me a message in Patreon, I can have a look. But you have to be on the balcony tier or higher for the blooper reels and the discounts. Just, I wanted to give something back and say thank you to the people who are on that one. Oh, Jamie says, if I ever met you on a cruise, I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't think it was actually you, just to look alike. So I get a lot more people who say hi to me as the cruise goes on. And I think it's because they see me. They're like, not sure. They go on my Instagram or my Facebook, and then they see I'm on there, and then they come and they say hi. I think that's my theory. Some people, though, they'll say hi to me in the terminal. Sometimes I get out the car. People say hi to me when I'm still in the car park before I've even got to the terminal now. Yeah. Are you going to film with a better camera than your iPhone? No, why would I? The camera on the iPhone is absolutely fantastic. And I think if you get a nice camera and you say, right, I'm going to go out and film, you don't capture the good stuff because the good stuff just happens. And I don't want other people to think I'm filming them or I'm a camera crew or anything like that. I want to just be a regular person on a cruise filming things with an iPhone, which is so good. It is so good. Never. This is a my webcam is my iPhone too. Yeah. Do you plan to start another YouTube channel? Almost all content creators do this to make extra money with non-cruise footage they capture in their travels. No, because for me, the whole time I'm on a cruise, I'm sort of very aware and I'm filming. And then when I'm traveling to the cruise or from the cruise or I'm staying overnight, that's the time I have for a holiday where I'm not thinking about filming, because it's my I work on holiday, so I need some time to not do that, I think. Lisa says, that's awful. Don't understand how people cannot like you. I think what scares me about going on the internet, it is so worth it. I have met so many lovely people, thousands of lovely people, hundreds of thousands who are subscribed to this channel. Just statistically, if you do meet 100,000 people, some of them are not going to be nice, but it's okay. It is all right. Donna says, how do I join Patreon? If you just Google Emma Cruises Patreon, or perhaps one of my moderators can share it in the chat. It's pretty easy to join, I think, hopefully. Emma's second channel will be her singing sea shanties. I don't think so. Are you using Mac with iPhone? Yes. So I don't have to do anything. It just connects. It's absolutely amazing. I used to use my proper Canon camera. I had like a cam link set up and all that stuff. And this is just so much better. Thank you, Jackie, for sharing the link to my Patreon. Do you have a gimbal for your iPhone? No, I don't use a gimbal. I just make it as steady as I can with my hand. Same thing. If you're using a big gimbal, people look at you and stuff. And if someone looks at me, I just put my phone away. All my clips are like 2 or 3 seconds long because I just want to be a normal person, blend in. I try my best not to film anybody, any specific person. I did make an exception on my last cruise, though, because the person who I was filming, it's completely impossible to identify them. And it was just somebody who was, in the buffet, they have the screens down when it's closed. It was just this woman who was just walking behind the screens, just taking all this food. You can only see her legs. But normally I just try and I film when it's quiet, of course. And if I do want to show, it's busy at the balloon drop party or it's busy in the theater, I'll normally, sit towards the back of the theater and I'm filming a crowd. So if you know that you're there, you can say, oh, that's me and John. But I don't want to ever film like a person peer running or someone being like helicoptered off or anything like that. Not cool with that. Not cool. You should see the gear we need for filming on board. Yeah, mine's literally my iPhone. I have a Insta360 that I use sometimes, not on every cruise, sometimes, but yeah, almost entirely my iPhone. Andy says, despite it being expensive, would you say your Emerald Azura cruise was value for money? It depends what you value. There were plenty of people who I met on that cruise absolutely love it. For them, it's worth every single penny because they value, having a lot of crew per person. They value the really nice space. They value, when I was there on Emerald Azura, it was a yacht. It was a press trip. Don't think I really need to explain that. It was £850 per night. So I didn't pay that. But when you need a tender, they just call you a tender just for you. If there's not a tender there, they'll just call one. Like, is that worth it to you? Depends if it's worth it to you. Yeah. But then obviously you're not going to have a theatre because, it's a yacht. You're not going to have go-karts. You're not going to have water slides. For some people, that's worth more. So it's not necessarily like you pay more and it's better. Better is really like, depends what you want. Elaine's given me an example. Thank you. Celebrity is now charging way more for singles. I priced an 11-day cruise for two, 6,800 as a solo, exactly the same cabin, over 10,000. That's an outrageous surcharge. Yeah, I would just not book that. I would not look at that at all. It doesn't have to be like that. Not every cruise is like that. It may be that they only have a certain number of solo spaces, and say they have one solo space left, it becomes very valuable. So yeah. Can you explain the difference to Americans between your British accent and sweet nature? They sound so different. There are so many British accents. It is just crazy. I don't know how to describe it. It's very different. If you drive, a couple of hours in any direction, the accent is different. Because there's a lot of us in Britain, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Yes, I have an Insta360, but I always feel so weird using it around people. Pay no attention to this giant stick I'm holding. Yes, me too. Luckily, I only ever do it when no one's around. I'll normally do it on a port day, and I'll wait till everyone gets off, and I'll get up, and I'll do it in the morning, or I'll do it at some time when it's quiet, because, yeah, it's really awkward. I don't want people to look at it or feel like I'm filming them. That's the thing. What would you say are the main differences between princess and celebrity? This is tricky because I think if you like one, you would probably like the other. I think celebrity is a bit more sort of trendy and modern, and princess is a bit more traditional. They're both good. I like both of them. But I think if you were to go and see someone singing a song on Princess, they're probably singing it the same way that it was written. And on Celebrity, it's probably the opposite way that it was written. It used to be a slow song. Now it's fast. It used to be a man. Now it's a woman. It's just a bit like, I don't know, a bit more trendy. Yeah. Emma has a Southern English accent. Yes, I do. I do. By the way, if you insult someone in the chat, not just me, you're getting blocked. Like you can't just insult other people. Yeah, Jamie says I can count at least 7 different accents within 30 minutes of me. Yes, definitely. Oh, Richard says, if you and Trek Trendy could swap for one video, which first class trip would you take? Will does a lot of really nice cruises. I don't know if I would want to do, would I do like a luxury cruise line? Or would I do, I mean, I'm always very curious about what are the luxury bits like on mainstream cruise lines. I think I would prefer that. I think I would prefer to be on a Royal Caribbean cruise in the suite or the Haven on Norwegian or something, rather than a smaller luxury ship, just because I love the big ships. I don't know. Maybe. Yes, thank you, moderators. You are absolutely fabulous. Cruise boys say we live down the road from Emma and have different accents. I'm not sure about that, but we all have different accents. Yes. Callie says, I live down the street from a major cruise port. Do they ever have last minute deals? Yes, they do have last minute deals. If you do literally live there and you have the time off work, absolutely go for it. You are living the dream right there. That's really good. But you're going to want to book. You can't normally just show up and get on because they need to know who's going to be there. They need to collect everyone's passport information. They need to submit it. So you'd probably be wanting to do it 3 days before, something like that. Lisa says, Emma's got a nice English accent, but some are not so nice. Some are hard to understand even for me. So sometimes I'll send a video of, it's a Scouse accent or something, and I'll send it to an American and be like, do you understand this? Because I'm struggling. But I think it's good. I think it's really fun. I really like everyone's accents. I like how we have so many. Um, are Cunard hoping that Anne will attract younger people? Cunard are hoping Anne will. Are they hoping this? Because I've had conversations with Cunard in the past, about can we do something together? And they've always said to me, we're not interested in your audience. You're too young. We're not interested. Maybe that's changed now, but that's always the impression Cunard have given me. And I've cruised with Cunard a couple of times. Great time, great cruises, but I've never got the vibe that they're trying to go for younger people. But they at some point they need to, because they have quite an old passenger demographic. So I don't know. Yeah, Jamie says a lot of aviation vloggers travel first class because there's so much more to talk about than in cattle class in economy. Yeah, I mean, it would be really hard to film in economy, apart from anything else. Imagine that you're in a middle seat, you don't know anyone. It would be terrible. And no one's really, why would anyone be interested in that? It's quite boring. I would be much more interested in, having a shower in a plane or something. That's crazy. Yes. I mean, I do like Cunard, don't get me wrong. But yeah. What are your opinions on P&O Britannia? If you want to see some really old Emma Cruises videos, if you rewind to 2019, must be 2019, I have some videos on there. They're the first sort of vloggy ones that I tried to make. Um, some weird accent comments in here. Yes. Question. First time in Newcastle, my friend had to translate for me. In Newcastle? I don't think Newcastle's that well, it's a recognizable accent, but I'd find that one quite easy to understand compared to some others. I have a friend from Glasgow, and when I have gone to see him in the past, I've been like, please can you buy this, because I'm going to say something embarrassing because I don't understand. It's too fast for me. What do you think of a repositioning cruise? Love it. Love it. See some weird comments going on in here. Thanks so much, moderators. But yeah, love a repositioning cruise. If I'm flying somewhere anyway, why does it matter if I fly into one airport and back out of another one? Doesn't matter. Couldn't care less. If obviously you're cruising from your local port, it's nice to come back to where you started, but it's cheaper, quite often, quite a lot cheaper. Happy New Year from Canada. Yes. Yeah, thinking the Glasgow accent was the hardest. Yeah. Geordie accent. Yeah, so many accents. Accents, try Scotland. I love it. Jamie says, we've nearly gone the entire live stream without mentioning Pepsi or cookies. That is not acceptable. We've done it now, though. The main things I need to mention are, of course, if you want to get any of these things I'm going to give away, please just go to emmacruises.com and give me your email. That's also great in case, YouTube could shut down, Facebook could ban me any moment, to be honest. And the only thing I actually have to contact you is your email address. So yeah, please give me your email address. There's loads of buttons on my website for your email. And then I'm going to send out the email later that has the giveaway on it. You'll have to click a button that says I want to win, because in the past I've just said, if you get this email, you're entered, but then whoever wins doesn't want it, or they don't tell me. So yeah, I will make you click a button. So be prepared for that. Yeah, you still have a price on your cup of coffee. It is not coffee. I've never had a coffee in my life. It's peppermint tea. And yeah, I do still have the sticker here, but I've had this 6 months, maybe. It's been through the dishwasher and it's just not coming off. So it's just part of the mug. But yeah, this is one I designed. All you need in life are cats and cruises. I think that is true. We also have dogs and we also have rabbits. And that is on my website, where the discount is Hudson Made Me, for the Captain Hudson Made Me Do It cruise t-shirt today. 24 hours only. I'm sorry if you're watching this in the future. Sorry. Sorry. Are you going to do another Virgin cruise? Not sure. It's not one that I currently have booked. The thing is the ships are all the same. So I kind of feel like once I've done one ship, I've done the others. But I haven't really done a proper Virgin Voyages cruise. So yeah, there's some good prices on Virgin cruises. They include quite a lot. So perhaps. I thought it was a swan. Yes, I know. So many people think this is a swan. It is a cat. Do you see it? I see the swan too. If you don't have that there, it does look like a swan. A swan. Yeah. Are staterooms getting smaller while ships are getting bigger? I don't think so. No, if anything, maybe they're getting a little bit bigger. They're pretty standard in size. I did do a thing on my website once where I compared different inside cabins, outside cabins, and balconies across different ships. And yeah, it's not that newer ones are smaller. They're a very standard size. You know, the factories make them pre-made in these little boxes. They slide them into the ship. They do it 1,000, 2,000, 4,000 times. That's pretty much it. Oh, I bought the shirt for my son. Thanks for the discount code. You are very welcome. Very welcome. Do you want to go on Holland America? Yes, I would like to do a Holland America cruise. I have just seen the time. This hour flies by so fast. Every time I sit down, I think, an hour. How am I going to talk for an hour? Even though I've been doing these live streams since 2020, but it doesn't feel like an hour. It flies by. So I will be here next week. We'll be doing the live stream at the normal time. And yes, hopefully the next time you'll hear from me will be when I send the email out later this evening with the giveaway, with my latest videos. If you haven't already seen the video about my MSC cabin, I think it's an interesting one. It's not a normal shape. It's not a normal location. It's not a normal anything. So check that out after this live stream. Thank you so much, everybody. This has been good fun. Bye.